How do you figure out your next career move and then move towards it with confidence? I got this question for those of you who are in my House of Impact private Facebook group. You'll know that when you request to join this group, I ask you, what would you like to learn most from me? And this is one of the questions I received. So I want to give you some of my experience and knowledge in this area about making a career move and what are the top actions you need to be focused on and how to prioritize those, because we all have a lot we're juggling, from kids to spouses to our own health to our finances, you name it. So if you're in this situation where you're thinking, I am craving something new or different, and I feel like there's a change that needs to happen in my career. When I'm working with clients, I suggest specific steps when we meet privately or in my group program. And my clients are action takers, they're go-getters. They put their pen to paper and they do the work. They put their foot to the pavement and they take the steps. So today, as I'm giving you these steps to mull over, you know this who this is for if you ask me this question. So this is specifically for you, and I won't say by name who this was, but you know who you are. I want you to take one of the steps that I share and implement it, because knowledge without application won't get you far. So the first step I want to suggest that you take is asking yourself, who do I want to become? What version of me wants to be expressed right now in my career where there's not room for that to be expressed right now in my current role or in the way that I'm running my business? If you're a business owner, maybe you want to move up or you want to move sideways in your company or move out of the current company you're working for. Maybe you want to grow a new arm of business and you've been getting some ideas of what would be satisfying. So ask yourself, who do I want to become? What version of me wants to be expressed right now? What skills of mine are craving to be honed and used more that make me feel alive? So for myself lately, for an example, I've been noticing that in my career, in my business, my professional life, I've been craving speaking and teaching. So as you can tell, that's evident in this Facebook group because I'm showing up for you. I'm hearing the call to speak more and I'm showing up for you. So there obviously are other people on the other end of this video who are craving education, craving new knowledge, craving deeper insight, new insight, craving practical application to move themselves forward and make greater progress in their professional lives, as well as access mindset shifts that I share that will help you create a new reality for yourself, more finances, more happiness, a greater connection in your relationship. Otherwise, I wouldn't feel called to use my speaking skills, my teaching skills more than usual. The same is true for you. If you're feeling called to make a change in your professional life, then there are other people who right now are craving you making that change and they need what you have, but they can't access it until you say yes to the call. So there's always a reason for a call when we've noticed our hearts being drawn to make some sort of a shift. So sometimes it's hard for us to make that shift. I'm getting personal with you here, because it's not that we don't know what we want in our career next. It's that we don't want to be honest with ourselves about what we want because we think the ramifications of that will be too uncomfortable, too costly. Like maybe you won't be able to spend as much time with your kids, you're telling yourself. So ask yourself, this is the second step. What's the story I'm telling myself? Am I telling myself I need to buy another pair of earrings like this? No, just kidding. What's the story I'm telling myself will happen, that negative story, if I make this career shift? Because that might be the very reason why you don't know what the next step is that you need to take in your career, is because you do know, but you don't want to face the um, what you feel the costs will be of making that move. So that's the second step, is ask yourself, what's the story you've been telling yourself will happen when you make that career move? And then you'll get more clear on what the next move actually is, instead of procrastinating and avoiding the move because of the story you're telling yourself. Third step is to make an incremental move. So this person's question was two-part. How do I know what career move to make? And how do I move forward with confidence? I think that was the question. Yeah. How do I figure out my next career move, and how do I move forward with confidence? So moving forward with confidence requires you to make incremental moves. And Bob Proctor, in his book, You Were Born Rich, which I highly recommend you reading or listening to, talks about, I think it's chapter 8, talks about the razor's edge. And the razor's edge is that little bit of extra action that only some of the world's population are willing to take to create their dream lifestyle, their dream career, their dream relationship. And the razor's edge requires you to think about, what is that one thing I could do every day that would move me forward on the regular to make more progress than most people are making in this area, just because I showed up and I was consistent and I believed in myself. So for me right now, that's getting out there, putting myself in front of the right people to build authority in different circles, or more authority in the same people groups, and access the speaking engagements that are waiting for me, access the conversations to build greater, broader reputation for my company, and be able to get my book in the right people's hands. And it's making those reach outs on a daily basis, whereas some people won't make time for those. So what is your razor edge activity that would propel you forward, that you could take on a daily basis, or maybe a weekly basis, but it's one that's consistent? The fourth step is to share wisely with the right people what you're dreaming about, the career move you want to make. Because some people are afraid of you failing and getting hurt, and they don't want you to, so they'll protect you and may squash your dream a bit, or they might put it down if they're envious of you or jealous of you pursuing your dream. So you want to make sure you're in the right community where you can dream openly with people who are visionaries, and also think out of the box, work and play out of the box. Share wisely. And the last step, number 5, is to be persistent. Persistence pays in so many ways. And when you are someone who chooses to be persistent with your career dream, you can accomplish anything. You can truly accomplish anything. So I'll leave you with this. When you believe that you are capable of making this career move, and you move forward incrementally, and you follow your heart's desires and what you're noticing people need in the world right now, where you could fill that gap, and you're doing those razor edge activities, and you're being persistent, you're holding yourself to a higher level of accountability and expectation. You follow all those steps, and you're going to find yourself in a new career or with a new arm of business that is so fulfilling and satisfying and meets a deep need of a population. And you don't need to serve the whole world, just meets a deep need of a specific population. I'm rooting for you. Let me know if you have any questions, and make sure you're on my email list so that you're getting access to my articles. I send them out weekly, and I want to make sure that you get to read them. They're very valuable, super helpful. I listen to all the questions you send in to me and try and make my videos as well as my emails really hit home for you. So please share about me with others so that they can find out about the House of Impact, the private Facebook group that I run. And if you have questions you want me to cover in these videos, please let me know. I'd love to serve you on a deep level.